Okay, so you've picked your star map. How do you know which ship is yours? Well, you pick a color that's not already in use, like say red, and you configure your ship. You can pick from faces or draw new ones. Sorry, clunk. You pick your ship. You can pick from standard ones or draw new ones. And the idea with the ships is if you beat someone, if you win in a battle, you earn the right to use their ship design. Something like that, at least. Okay, but you're not in the galaxy until you launch your drone. Fantastic sound effect. Okay, and now you're in the star group. And if we pull back and show the other players, I've got 3 mobile devices here that are all hitched in. This is the new Kindle, the $50 Kindle. It's working pretty well. And you see that each of us has a thumb, a colored thumb, and tapping the thumb gives us information about that player. You see the ping data. You see the pings got all kind of jammed together for a moment, and now they look better. Got a little jammed together there. So that's what it usually looks like when you're on Wi-Fi. Although I guess the phone's on Verizon. It might be on Wi-Fi right now, actually. And we can see his perspective on the pings. Yeah, each player thinks that his pings are perfect. He seems to feel the bottom ping is the least reliable. And this guy seems to feel, yeah. Anyway, just something fun you can do. But now we each, these 3 players all have their own ship. So if I zoom in with pinch zoom, we can see that's the ship that this player picked. And if I go back to the one that we were looking at, we see that we've got a boring. Oh, that's not the one we were looking at. This is a new tablet, so he's got the most boring ship design. But he's willing to fly around all the same and become a bigger, more important ship later. I should point out that you don't really ever become a bigger, more important ship. That whenever you drop into the galaxy, you always start with a ship that only has 6 pods. You can allocate those pods as fits your best strategy, and then you have to find a way to get more pods before the other people take advantage of your relative weakness. And depending on what kind of person you are, you may want to put all 6 pods into shields so that you live the longest. Or you might want to put them into engines so that you can outrun people and beat them to treasures. There you can see how the radar has a gravity detector. Sometimes you can't actually see the star on screen yet, so it's nice to have the radar kind of draw your attention to it. The green line out the front is obviously the direction I'm actually going. So if I fire my engines, and you can see I'm actually kind of sideways to my travel right now. If I fire my engines, you'll see the green line change. And now I'm going that way. And if I just turn, I'm sideways to my flight again. Where? I find steering actually while sideways to your flight is pretty easy. And just kind of, I don't know if it's really a spline or not, but that's the word that comes to mind. You got forward and back engines. They're either on or off. They're not. There's no vernier on the engine. Steering is nice. Steering is proportional. And you got potentially multiple weapons. Let's use this missile. Okay, homing missile. And I'm the green player. Let's target the blue player. Target. So now there's a little target on the blue player. So go to homing missile. We fire our homing missile, and then we run over to the blue player. That's this guy here. And the homing missile should eventually get to him. And boom, there it goes. So I'll shoot him again. And zoom out a little. And see if we can. Get away! Look out! Oh, we've killed him. We've killed him. Actually, there's no death in this game because it's just the drones getting blown up. And the clone factories just make new drones, using up galactic resources, which is one of the things that we're afraid of running out of. So it's kind of, we want to kill the drones, but on the other hand, we really want to kill the clone factories. But some of the drones seem to be good guys, so we don't want to kill their clone factories. It's all very complicated. But I just got an engine upgrade pod, so now I have 4 engine pods. I started with just 2. So I can go faster now. So it's, quote, realistic physics, but still so many game constraints such that the physics aren't really realistic. You apply your engines and you speed up with a nice appropriate acceleration, but once you hit your max legal game speed, you just stay at that speed. Although I do this weird thing where it's like you're not allowed to go faster than the game speed by virtue of your engines. Your engines cannot drive you any faster than that. But if some external force, like gravity, drives you faster, that's allowed to happen. So you can actually end up going insanely fast if something conspires to drag on you. But if you apply your engines, you're jammed right up against that max speed, which goes up, which increases with your number of engine pods. And you'll see that the other categories, I have 4 empty pods. That means I can pick up no more than 4 weapon pods and no more than 4 shield pods. And I can only have 2 more engine pods. Because I started with an even distribution, my maximums are all evenly distributed as well. But if I had started by putting all 6 of my starting pods into engines, I would still have gotten 4 empty pods to go with that. So I could have had a total of 10 engines and nothing else, 10 engine pods. And the metric is, the benefit of a pod is that if you did have 10 of them, you would be twice as good at whatever it is that pod controls. So it's for a doubling of your goodness, you need to collect 10 pods. Any less than that, and it's less than a doubling of your goodness. And some people do better with different distributions. Okay, but that's how you pick your ship.